Greetings everyone, welcome back. I'm with Hamster, as always. And, Sunny has something to tell us. Telling us a little bit about the smith. And, telling us that the base is coming along just fine. Excellent, that's good to hear. But, for now, the farmer actually wants to talk to us. They're giving us a little show around the town. So, let's do what he says after we've, been here talking to some people. Alright. So, apparently he is hard to impress, though you will see he's easily impressed by the player. But perhaps that's just because you keep bringing him all these shiny ores and bones and stuff to make new weapons from. Whereas people in the village, they're not exactly miners and hunters, so they can't bring him new and exciting things. Ugh. That was a mental image I didn't need. Alright, so they're gonna be explaining a little bit about the monsters, you know. Well, there are swimming land monsters and there's water monsters. Some go on land, some stay in the water, you know. Yeah. So, for the final bit of the tutorial, they will teach us how to swim. Because I'm smart and I know exactly what's coming up, I'm gonna buy a couple harpoons. This will be important.
Hi.
And, she certainly is a fishmonger. Amazing how she keeps trying to teach us lessons about fishmongering. Perhaps we should, rethink our choices in life. Just, become a fishmonger instead of a hunter. Nah, that's crazy talk. But, let's go check out the farm. Oh, what's this? A feline has returned. Well, we certainly will have words with him for running off. And seems like the pig went back to the farm. But now that we've reached this point, we now have access to the first things in the farm. Excellent! This is where resource points will come into play. We'll give it a little chat to all the NPCs, and then we'll take a look at how farming works in this game. Previously in the game, it was just a simple matter of you talk to the feline, he'll hand him seeds and fertilizer, and he'll do stuff for free. Or, in some cases, you get X amount of gathering attempts from a gathering point, and the more you upgrade your farm, the more gathering points you get, the better they get. So you have X attempts to gather from things, usually between 3 and 4 attempts. This game does it a little bit differently. It's a little more automated. As you can see, we have access to shrooms and fields, both level 1. Now, this is how it works. All of the things are automated. You give them an item and a fertilizer. And if I were to do mushrooms, then I'd be giving a mushroom and a fertilizer. Now, since they don't have any points, as you can see, it costs points, and a cycle is a day. So if I tell them to make items 5 days, then when I come back after 5 days, well, I can even come back early and pick up some of the items. But eventually they'll stop making items, you can check things and pick them up, and you will have a mountain of items. It does cost resource points, but it is a pretty easy way to get items. Not all items can be used to get more items in the farm, if you will, but most can. Some you actually have to go out and get yourself, or some are just very expensive. As you might imagine, herbs are pretty common item and easy to get, so they're going to be probably the cheapest. And to upgrade the farm, I will be needing resource points that I get out in the field. And as you see there, I can name the farmers as I wish, but, you know, I'm just choosing something. But in the previous games, you used your account point items from just items you gathered out in the field, or wyvern tears from monsters, that sort of thing, and then you use those points after missions to upgrade your farm. This was a slow and tedious process to upgrade the farm, but you also didn't need to use resource points whenever you wanted to gather items. In this game, they want you to go into the open world, and as you mentioned there, I have access to the entire map. But getting back to what I was saying, they want you to go do open world hunting and gathering and stuff like that. Just go out in the village, check out what's what, and go gather stuff. And when you do that, you will get points, and you come back. You spend your points. You can also spend if you have items, you can turn them in, get a bunch of points. So that works too. So there are several ways to go about it. But for now, they want us to go swimming. So let's break out that well-done steak I made before and head out. First, I will be going to 8, and I will be heading to 12. And then I will be going through 11, 10, and 9, just showing those areas off. You know, might as well take our time, explore a little, enjoy the sights. There's no rush. Well, there will be when I start multiplayer, but that's for entirely different reasons. For now, we're just going to sit back and enjoy. This here is the nest. Most monsters will sleep here in this part, well, this map, I should say. There could be some pretty good gathering points around here. There is a shortcut to 5 if I jumped off the cliff on that side. As you can see indicated by the map, it's a one-way arrow pointing. And there's a shortcut up and down here where I can go to 11, or from 11 to 8. And these fish will be our next target. They're very passive, they won't attack, but the game decided to show it to us because, well, it's good to know. They'll give us a quick tutorial on how to swim. Basically, the camera controls which way we're swimming. So if we point the camera upwards, we're swimming up. If we point it down, we swim down. Dodging works a little differently underwater, as you can dodge in directions up and down instead of forward and backwards. And all of the bad jokes. Wonderful. Attacks and dodging does work a little bit differently underwater, and I'll be going through that a little bit later. But for now, let's take a look around. Yeah. I have some nice water shimmering effects, and if I wanted to go back up to 8, I could climb up those vines. And yeah, as you can see, it's not too difficult swimming. You can do dash swimming underwater, and dodging is also not a bad way to, in short bursts, go somewhere really quickly underwater. Also gives you invincibility frames, so when something's trying to eat you, well, it's handy. And as he mentions, I have an oxygen bar while I'm under the water. I can only hold my breath for so long, but you hold your breath for 3 to 5 minutes, roughly, somewhere between there. And it's not really a problem because there are multiple ways to get air. One, as he mentions, there are air supply points, which are above the surface. Or or we can use the sonic method and find air bubbles under the water. Another method is, well, there are items that you can craft or buy and have on you, and basically consuming one of these items will give you full air. Now, what happens when you run out of air is your health will very slowly go down. You do not lose the health permanently. It'll stay a red bar, so if you get air and you're not in any danger, you can slowly recover your health. So it's not that big of a deal. And as you can see, the attacks are a bit different in the water. But for now, let's check out 12 before we do what we're supposed to. And this here is where aquatic monsters will sleep. They will head to this cavern to rest. That's right, a lot of maps will have multiple nests. But for now, let's gather a little bit from this mining point. And you get a better view of the rock. There's daylight to look at it in, and it's out in the open. In 12, there's usually always fairly good ore to gather, but it is very far off, so depends really what you're looking for. Now let's go do what we're supposed to do. We were told to go harvest these fish. The way you do it is you weaken the monsters by attacking very carefully. Don't overpower them. Don't just thrash them. And then, when they're almost dead, you use a harpoon. I got it down perfectly first time around. It's not too hard to do. I remember my first time while I was playing this game, I did not understand how I was supposed to use the harpoon. First, I just started stabbing with the harpoon. Nothing happened. Then I tried killing it. Nothing happened. And, well, suffice it to say, it took me a while to figure it out because I just kind of skipped the text a little too fast. Now, as you can see, the body will be just lying there, and I can carve from it regularly. You can get some big fins and velvety hide, that sort of thing, and there's also some other things like dash extract that you can get from some fish. Now, what happens when you just kill the fish with normal weapons? Well, I still get resource points, but as you can see, the fish swims away and disappears. The only way I can harvest from the fish is using a harpoon. So if you plan on harvesting fish, not too bad an idea if you plan on harvesting certain items. I would suggest looking up a list of what items the fish give, and if there's anything you need, then go harvesting from them. But just remember to bring harpoons with you if you do plan to do it. There are a multitude of items you can also gather in the water, like those bones on the ground. It's not actually bones, but more like pearls, coral, and the likes. And as you can see, there are bubbles under the water there. And I just use the sonic method of getting air back. So, air is not really you're never really in any danger of dying because you run out of air. And it takes a long time. I mean, even after your air has run out and you just stay under the water waiting for you to die when you're on full health, it takes still a few minutes. So we're just taking a quick look around. Yeah. This beach certainly looks nice. Perhaps I'll come back here later. Well, I get a feeling I'll be coming back here quite a lot. And here's a pretty important area. It'll become apparent later when I start actually playing the game. I'll be showing a few tricks with this area. But for now, just getting a nice view. There's some nice shimmering effects on the rocks from the water. I do appreciate those the attention to detail, as it is called. But they didn't mention that we could just use the our game menu just to go directly back to the village, but, you know, they've been working really hard on the camp, so perhaps after I'm done playing with these Jagi, I should go check the camp. I kind of want to see what their progress is like. What I'm trying to demonstrate there is that I can knock monsters out with if I do shield bashes. A nice addition to this game, but you know, I'll get more into those sorts of things when I explain about the different weapons. Oh, they seem to be finished. Excellent. Oh, why don't we go see the quest gal? Well, it seems like we're actually able to take quests now, perhaps. But, as you can see, the camp is finished. Everything is new and shiny and wonderful. We have access to the docks now that the big rock is removed. We can swim. There should even be a point where we can fish. And there's a bed if we need some delicious free health. Of course, I do not think they'll allow me to sleep on the bed just yet. We're still in tutorial mode, but for now, let's do the quick return to the village. It's a nice little feature that you can just do at a push of a button, instead of having to walk all the way back. It's also nice if you're low on stamina. And as you can see, people want to talk to me. And now that I have access to guild missions, the actual meat and potatoes of the game, they will give me gifts. And here's what I mentioned in the previous episode that I thought he was going to give me. He's going to give me armor spheres. Now, I need these little babies to upgrade my armors. So I'm going to give people a quick demonstration. You just choose the armor you want to upgrade, and as you can see, it costs armor spheres and money. And then you just say, well, I have everything I need, I'll just upgrade my armor. Eventually it'll require better armor spheres, but eventually you also get those, and it's not that big of a problem. Every time they have something new for sale, they will usually have a bubble over their head. So it's always a nice... well, it's always a good idea to talk to them. So she will have a new armor for sale. Well, a new armor type, I should say. The Hunter's Armor. The Hunter's Armor is not a bad set of gear right off the bat in the beginning of the game. And it's also pretty handy if you're going to do some barbecuing. Just quickly checking the NPCs to see who will talk to me, who will give me goodies, and yeah.
Bye.
Alright, he'll tell us a secret. Oh. That's a weird secret.
Hey! Tasty!
Alright, I don't think we needed to know that, but yeah. So Sonny, yeah, he's telling us about stuff. And he's telling us to go check out the guild person. So here's the interesting part about Forecast. You can see the next 3 days what there's going to be. You can see if there's going to be any large monsters there. Good for hunting. They will give you lots of points. You can also see how the resources are in different areas, and what kinds of creatures that are infesting the area, if at all. So that'll be important to keep an eye on if, something special is going to happen. If there's any opportunity for lots of resource points. Here, I can say those sushi fish I got from the cat in the farm earlier. I can say, hey, here's some sushi fish. Take them. And then I get some points. And, as mentioned before, you can check to see what items give what points and what creatures give what points. Pretty handy list. And there certainly is a lot of people who want to talk to me. She's obsessed that I don't go visit her every day. Not that it makes a difference. So, she's going to be selling books of combos. As she mentions, like, they will increase your success rate when combining items. For example, when, well, you know, I think I'll demonstrate this. But for now, we can't really buy a book of combo, so I will give it a little wait, but, you know, just showing off that she does get new items for sale. So, let's see if the village chief will give us a little money. He seems rather pleased that I've, well, mastered swimming. Giving us a couple tips here and there. Yeah. And he is going to give us money. He apparently doesn't have very much money if that's scraping the bottom of his piggy bank. But now that we have some money, I can actually buy a book of combos.
Anna.
So let's go do that. Now, the book of combos will only work if you have them in your inventory, but if you're combining items in the item box, just as long as the books are either in your inventory and in your item box, it should count. But for now, let's take a look at the blue mushroom plus an herb. 95% chance of success to make a potion. But when we pick up our book of combos, it should be increased to 100%. I believe each book of combos gives you an additional 5% extra chance. There I'm just showing off a quick speed combo, adding the speed combo to my list, and yeah. Then you don't need to pick up the items yourself. Just if you have the items, you can make them. Very handy. And it seems like she has something to tell us. Aha, my very first quest. That sounds exciting. Oh, well, we have to collect mushrooms. You won't get used to her, the way she talks. It's... I just shake my head. I don't like her. She is not... She bothers me. But she will explain about how to get quests and how to depart for the quest. So, you can pick up the quest here if you want to go on it. And for now we only have one, but this is where the actual tutorials of the single player ends. And I'll allow you to vote on characters and whatnot. But for now, I'll see you next time. Laters.